Good morning, good morning. It is Monday morning, 8:30 a.m., May 11th, 2020. This is part of my Anchor broadcast, all right? Anchor FM, Society Shame. You can tune in. I'm getting ready to start it up right now. Good morning, good morning. This is Society Shame on Anchor's broadcast. It is May 11th at 8:30 a.m. May 11th at 8:30 a.m. This is my 21st my 21st episode. And today is about Media Monday. Now, I can't exactly give the exact quote about Malcolm X, but Malcolm X says something about the media and how it demonizes our community and it controls the narrative. Martin Luther King showed you how they used the media to control the narrative in our communities over the last 50 years, even in the 20s and the 30s. So we're going to talk about the media today. We're going to talk about which did the first story on me on Hard Look. WJZ did the first story on me on Hard Look with Richard Sher, Mary Mubala, and Kai Jackson. You can look at it. It's a classic. It talked about the prison industry and talked about looking out for people that were still incarcerated. If I made it and I became successful, I'm supposed to show other people how to be successful. I'm supposed to lift you up, not hold you down. And that's what this is all about. Now, Media Monday shows how a mainstream media can control the narrative in which we have to live by. If they say that everybody in Baltimore is a rapist and just killing and murdering, that's the scenario that the world is looking at. But we need to start showing the good in the hood. We need to start showing the positive that Baltimore has to show. Even if we have to eclipse the Baltimore Sun, or we have to outshine WJZ. If we got to put ABC2 in their place and show who they work for. Because mainstream media has a moral and ethical obligation to work for the people. They got a moral and ethical obligation to work for the people. This is mainstream media. Wesley Lowery of the Washington Post. Diana Suggs from the Baltimore Sun. Ian Duncan from the Baltimore Sun. Mike Shue from WJZ. Vanessa Herring from WBAL. Christian Schaefer. Mike Marion. Jeff Abel. Karen Parks. Dakari Turner's in Chicago now. Megan Pringle. Barry Sims. Kelly Swoop. Lisa Robinson. C4. Larry Young. 92Q. WOLB. TJ Smith when he was the spokesman for the Baltimore City Police Department. Charles Gibson and Gail King. Now that's Gail King right here. For those that can't see this or just hear this, this is Gail King, which she has this information. Because like I said, the media demonizes Black Baltimore. So to hold the media accountable, go to Ed Norris from CBS Radio. Because y'all reward bad behavior. Y'all gave Ed Norris a job when he got out of jail. And y'all reward bad behavior. And y'all reward white people. Now Ed Norris is the spokesman about the good in Baltimore. And he just as corrupt and racist as the rest of them. Ed Norris seen me in public. Y'all seen him at the town halls. And not one person that I name say anything back to me when I call him out. TJ Smith won't say nothing. But mainstream media is hailing up these individuals. So mainstream media needs to be knocked down a peg. Fox 45 has a whistleblowers application. And since y'all sat here and ran President Trump over the coals with a whistleblower about the Russian investigation, I'm going to run Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and Lake County all over the coals about your prison industry and the money you make off of mass incarceration. Keisi Mfume's job is oversight. Oversight of his job, part of the oversight is the oversight committee for the prison industry. I want to speak in front of the grand jury about the prison industry in Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House, and she from Baltimore, got roots in Baltimore. So everything that Keisi Mfume got, everything that Governor Hogan got, everything that WJZ got, everything that ABC2 got, everything that Fox 45 got, everything that Diana Suggs from the Baltimore Sun got, we're going to send to President Trump. I want the same investigation y'all put him through. I want the Democratic Party to go through the same thing. Y'all had a ball with me. Mainstream media had a ball with me in 2007, 2008, and 2000. Ran me through the Shorty was there. He lost his mind. He's crazy. He's all this. About y'all. Part of the movie was, and you can go to YouTube page, Portraits of a Letter, and it breaks down your media from Bill O'Reilly down to Kelly Swoop, from Charles Gibson to, I can name you people because, like I said, Portraits of a Letter. It's how the mainstream media demonizes Black America. You can kill us, lynch us, treat blacks any kind of way. But the only person that's going to save Black America is Black media, Black voices. And that's what we need in America. Black voices to control the narrative. Stop demonizing us, saying that we're thieves, murderers, and killers. No. We're mathematicians. We're philosophers. We're the cradle of civilization, came from Africa, and we are Africans. Let the media tell that story. So, today I went to ABC2. I told y'all what I'm going to do to y'all. Art and activism. I'm going to be proactive in my activism. The weather's getting ready to break, so I'm getting ready to hang out dirty laundry. The same thing I did in February of 2011, I'm going to do again in 2020. Same thing make you laugh, gonna make you cry. I'm collecting toilets, and I'm looking for 52 toilets to go for these 52 politicians, media, and all that. Now, Jane Miller already got a toilet. Brandon Scott already got a toilet. I gave the ACLU a toilet. So 52 minus 3 is 49. See, we're going to do some math here. I got 49 toilets, and I got 2 more in the truck. That's 49. That's 47 toilets. So I need 47 more toilets. And I don't care where they at. I will come get them. We're going to do art and activism in 2020 because we got to practice social distancing. So for social media, we're going to use social change, and we're going to do it through social distancing. If you have an issue that you want your media to engage in, if you have an issue in which you want your elected officials to address, then we're going to put them on the toilet. We're going to change the shit that's going on in Baltimore. And we're going to do it through art and activism. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. If I get 47 toilets and we get 47 issues and we got 47 more toilets, somebody going to be paying attention to Baltimore. And it's nonviolent, peaceful demonstration. Art is therapy. Art is therapy. It releases the things in your head and you focusing on something else. So shitting is like therapy because when you get that shit out your body, it comes on out. So I'm going to use a toilet. I'm going to use a TV. I'm going to use discarded materials for artistic purposes, not autistic, artistic. Are we ready for this? I hope so. Social media for social change. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and MySpace. We're going to go through the history of social media. Because to finish what I started, we're going to finish it on social media. You feel me? We're going to finish it through social media. This is for anybody to chime in on it too, because you can always, this is not just about me, this is about us. So if you feel like you want a story to be told, if you got a truth you want to be known, but you got to stand behind whatever you say, all right? I'm giving you a platform and a voice. Like I said, this ain't my fight, this is our struggle. I'm showing you that we can use Anchor podcast for good things. We can use Facebook for positive things. And we can with other individuals since we have to practice social distancing. Food and the conversation. That's what got me in the start of this. And the media did the first story on me. They did it on my store on Falls Road, and it was barbecue. Because barbecue is a common denominator. And it's my season. So the next 3 days, I'm going to be doing some artwork. And I'm going to put those art pieces out in public places. I'm going to cut my podcast down to maybe 1 or 2 days a week. It's going to be, Sunday is going to be a definite. And Monday is going to be a maybe. Fox 45, like I say, Media Mondays. Fox 45 has a whistleblowers application. I'm supposed to get that back by Friday. I get that back on Friday. Monday, I'm mailing it out to President Trump. because I'm going to put pressure on y'all. By November, I want either my property or something, because y'all running for office. I'm going to be running my mouth. All right? And everything that belongs to me, dog, I'm just fighting for my freedom and my property. I'm a free man. I don't have millions of dollars to pay lawyers to fight you in court. So I'm going to fight you with social media for free. One man's garbage, another man's gold. And the goal of my situation is to be free. Totally free. Socially free, politically free, and economically free. So I'm coming with the economics. That's Illinois and Maryland. And y'all is the city that reads. So read that. All right. Like I say, it's media wars. That says United States Department of Justice, 36 South Charles Street, U.S. Attorney. All right. The date is February 28th, 2019. All right. This covers both states. And that's Johnny Oleski's signature. Baltimore County Executive. All right. Now, if we go up to this other, I'm going to pull your card. That's, if you go to Senator Antonio Hayes' office and ask for my I Am Dred Scott, he has a screenplay for a movie, and it's called I Am Dred Scott. I'm going to show you how the public officials defend Black Baltimore. Names, dates, judges, lawyers. When I started it, everything is in the book. He got it in his hands. As for a federal and state audit, I'm out $2.6 million. I need finances. I don't get a stimulus package. I'm homeless. I don't get an IRS refund. I've been homeless since 2011. I ain't made over $10,000 a year in 11 years. You feel me? The state owes me money, so I need an audit from the state. And I've been asking for that audit since 2014. Civil division, criminal division. Department of Justice, Mr. Hardin. Your state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby. I'm going to show you what the media won't show you. You feel me? I'm going to show you what the media won't show you. This is what it says, Tuesday, the 13th of September, 2011 at 9:15 a.m. You didn't even bring this to court. The entire contents of the defendant's vehicle, a 1999 Chevy Suburban truck, registration. All right? VIN number. From the premises, 1402 Lochner. I was kidnapped by the state because I was making a movie about the state. I was making a movie about your Attorney General's office. That's Doug Gansler. That's 2013. That's Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, 2013. That's Mayor Pugh. And that's Justin Fenton from the Baltimore Sun. Because like I said, it's Media Mondays. Y'all got all the stories and y'all got an award about Pugh. But what kind of Pulitzer Prize am I going to get about the Baltimore Sun? Because this is what the Sun reported to you. This is what the Baltimore Sun told America. They said I was a terrorist. The Baltimore Sun said that I'm a terrorist, and this is what they said. Part of Central Towson came to a standstill Monday morning. Today's Monday morning, right? Monday morning. A porcelain toilet festooned with newspaper clippings and electronic transmitter. It wasn't an electronic transmitter. It was a dead cell phone. And it wasn't, newspaper clippings was all about the Baltimore Sun and WJZ. It had Richard Sher on it. You feel me? Workers from a nearby business streamed and watched the police close nearby streets, including the 400 block of Washington Avenue. No, Shellenberger knew that toilet was all about Shellenberger. Mike Shue knew that toilet was all about Shellenberger. Christian Schaefer knew it was all about Shellenberger. Mike Marion, Jeff Abel. Y'all knew this toilet was all about the politics in Maryland. The racism in your courts. Y'all didn't report that. Right here is neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except in the presumption of a crime. Herefore, the party shall be duly convicted, shall exist in the United States or any place in its jurisdiction. All right, this is the letter I wrote Congressman Cummings. All right, respect and judicial to hold when it's abusing its powers, due process, equal protections under the law. All right, I respectfully request to testify in front of the Maryland State Grand Jury, the whistleblowers, and the Congress and Senate. Congressman Cummings, Van Halen, Senator Hardin, Mark Kirk, and Congressman Sarbanes. All right. That's Mr. Hardin's. That's John Rydell from Fox 45. He got this too. Like I said, this is Media Monday. Kai Jackson. For educational purposes, the Baltimore Sun. Justices uphold the Westboro Baptist Church freedom of speech. This is my freedom of speech. I got the freedom to flush some careers down the hole. The same thing you did to me. I got a freedom of speech, and Keisi and Mfume got to protect my freedom of speech. Congressman Mfume, all right? Because now you sitting in Congressman Cummings' seat. State Grand Jury, whistleblower, Congress. Whistleblower for Congress. Let me put your picture for Congress. All right? So everything that Congressman Cummings had, everything that Barbara Mikulski had, everything that Stein Saunders had, everything that Gigi Barnett had, everything that Diana Suggs got, everything that Ian Duncan got, everything that Christian Schaefer, everything that Mike Marion, everything that Jeff Abel, everything that Karen Parks, Tim Tennyson. Because Keisi, they know me too. She know me too. I took pictures with you. I took pictures with you for a reason. So Keisi, talk to Anthony McCarthy, and talk to your second hand down at your Park Avenue office in Baltimore. Talk to Harry Spikes Jr. My whistleblower's application is in your office. It's in your hands. I'm the first person you want to see or deal with. And you got to turn this over to President Trump. Fox 45 got that. John Wydell, Rachel Aragon, y'all got that. Jane Miller, I-Team, you got that. President Barack Obama, 2000, yeah, you got that. A federal investigation. Richard Pollard, right there. September 9th. You are liable for a body attachment. So we're going to show you crime and justice. That's the clerk of the court, and that's legal material. So Keisi, under the Fifth Amendment, I'm supposed to get my property back. It's Congressman Mfume, you supposed to protect the rights of my property. As oversight chairman, you got to protect the rights of my property. And you got to report Mr. Lowry, Mr. Justin Fenton, and these individuals to the FCC. FCC violations, furnishing well. Now, you can find in the I sent to the courts. Everything I sent to the Department of Justice. Everything I sent to these elected officials. It's called entrapment. It's like when they give you a car and they put a hot car on the street and they leave the keys in it and they charge you with theft. I did the same thing with them. I gave them entrapment. I gave you a scientific experiment and a hypothesis about being black in America. Do black have rights in which white America respects? I said no. I was in a win-win situation because if they said yeah, then where are my rights? I'm showing you right here on this breakdown, all right? And the politicians and the people that got it, all right? Like I said, it's about the courts and the justice in the courts. That's Judge Bennett, 2018. That's Michael Nearham, Lake County States Attorney's Office. That's Al Redmer. I'm showing you the money behind the machine, because they're insured. When you go to jail, you're worth $47,000 a year. You're worth $2 million in body parts. You're worth $47,000 a year. Media ain't gonna tell you that. Your body parts is worth $2 million. Your eyes, your lungs, your heart, your skeleton. Because if you're an unclaimed body in Maryland, you go to the graveyard. Now, you can contact Heather Sinclair down on the Eastern Shore. Me and Heather did some work on that. I'm a prisoner's right advocate. She's an advocate on that fact. And those two mix. There's a lot of money behind the prison industry, and the media's not telling you that. They're keeping you blinded. There's a lot of Jim Crow in the media. We're going to make sure in 2020 that our voices are heard. 2020, we have a right to vote. If you are an ex-felon, if you just came out of jail, contact Out for Justice and get registered to vote. If you're on the west side, contact Shelly's Helping Hands. Get registered to vote. And if you're up in Park Heights, if you're up in Garrison, contact PFK Boom. Get registered to vote. Make our votes count. I'm a black Republican. I'm registered as a black Republican for a reason, because you got to address my racism. If President Trump want to make America great again, then President Trump got to address America's hate again. I'm a black radical Republican. I'm a Frederick Douglass Republican. I'm a Martin Luther King Republican. I ain't no Kanye West Republican. I ain't no Steve Harvey Republican. I'm straight up off the block in the gutter Republican. You can ask Kelly Fox. You can ask Rodney Burris. You can ask Christopher Williams. You can ask the Republican Central Committee, Gary Collins. I'm a Republican that marched to my own beat. I ride with Brian Vaith and we hit the streets. This is about radicalism. This is about radical Republicans, because if you want to address racism, you want to deal with racism, then you got to go in the master's house. We've been in the Democratic Party for over 100 years, and all the Democrats do is just sell us out. Anywhere where you have a high density in the black population is run by a Democratic Party. They still doing Republican things, but they just doing it with black faces. So you can't call it racist. You call it exploitation. If you got hung with a man with a black hand, or you got hung with a man with a white hand, you still got hung. And they lynching us and they killing us in our communities. You don't get none of our politicians, none of our media, nobody's saying let's end the war on drugs. But the media is pushing marijuana houses and legalization of treatment centers, and you're pushing opioids, but you're still incarcerating black America. You're still demonizing us. You're talking about the murders that we have every year and the ceasefire program that we had this weekend. The ceasefire program ain't gonna never, ever work if you don't address the war on drugs. We had ceasefire in Chicago back in the 80s, long before y'all bring it here in 2012 or 2016, or when Freddie Gray died. That ceasefire program is about ending violence. If you're going to end the violence, then you have to address the root of the violence. The root of the violence is the war on drugs. The root of the violence is the war on drugs and mass incarceration. The root of the violence is poverty in our community. You want to ceasefire? You got to admit you got a war on drugs. Egypt didn't have a ceasefire with Israel until they admit they had a war. You got a war on drugs, and the war on drugs ain't nothing but a war on the black community. We traded the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and we the cash crop. For 400 years, we've been here trying to get freedom, and we ain't never been free. We're enslaved socially, economically, and impoverished physically, mentally. We broken, but we ain't broke up. We fixable because we buildable. We're resilient. So in 2020, take control of the narrative. If mainstream media comes in your community, shut them down. When Freddie Gray happened and mainstream media was here, Don Lemon, CNN, and national news came here, I made them respect the community. Because when they come in the community, they got to respect what's going on. I went to each one of y'all's networks, main networks, and shut them down. If they said something that I didn't like, I went to their network and shut them down. You couldn't do no live feeds as long as I was downtown. Shut it down. 2020, we're going to extend that. Just like you got an extension on the coronavirus, where you say we got to be at home at 8 o'clock. Well, we're going to put a curfew on your media in 2020. Any media that had anything to do with my incarceration, I don't give a shit who you is. Any station that had anything to do with my incarceration or PFK Boom's incarceration, Fox 45 got the evidence. If y'all don't straighten up what y'all created, then I'm coming after y'all. The same way that you went after me. I'm going to put this camera in your face. Anytime that you got a live feed, I'm shutting it down. If you got a problem with it, call the FCC. If you got a problem with it, call 911. If you got a problem with it, check me. Because I'm going to ask you questions that you don't want to answer on air. Because we're going to air your dirty laundry. Same thing make you laugh, gonna make you cry. It's a fair exchange. Ain't no stick up without a gun. I'm going to stick you up with the camera. I'm going to stick you up with your newspaper. Same way that y'all want this painful process with Chief Justice Roberts overseeing it. You're going to do the same thing about Baltimore. Keisi and Mfume going to have to give me that day in the house. You're going to have to give it to me. Because we talking about being black in America. We talking about our rights. And you see where that came from? That came from City Hall. I took it from City Hall. Baltimore politics. It's a painful process. It's a painful process. But we're going to talk about the prison industry. Make America great again. You got to address America's hate again. We're going to talk about the 13th Amendment. Yeah. We're going to talk about Trump. Quasi and Mfume, Congressman Cummings. So this information from Quasi and Mfume, Congressman Cummings, is going to President Trump. I'm going to make sure that this story gets told, because I'm going to control the narrative. Freedom of speech, Baltimore Sun. Heck of a picture, ain't it? Keisi, Shorty, and Kathleen Hughes. Media Mondays, man. Freedom of speech. For those that can't see this and just hearing this, you need to go to Facebook. Go to Facebook, Dwayne G. Davis, and see the live feed. Mix this live feed with the audio so you can see what I was talking about. I'm trying to hit you on both venues, audio and visual. And we're going to save the episode. Society Shame, episode 20. All right, episode 20. Got about another minute and a half to go. And I want to thank Starbucks for giving me my energy. All right. And I want to thank Marilyn Mosby. See, because now Marilyn Mosby's under the hot seat. Marilyn Mosby, Nick Mosby. We talking about the grand jury. We talking about whistleblowers. And we blowing the whistle on Marilyn Mosby. We're going to show you the corruption that she's been shielding since she came into office. Marilyn Mosby, Nick Mosby, Kevin Bilal, Brian Frost, John Cardins. Because this material that was in this truck was about the Department of Justice. It was about you. This material that was in this truck was about Al Redmer and Insurance Incorporated. This material that was in the truck was about President Obama and the prison industry. I got everything I need. All right, we winding down. Anchor Podcast. We doing Anchor Podcast for a reason. To dismantle a master's house, you got to use the master's tools. And the master uses the camera, he uses the computer, and he uses social media. Social media for social change. 2020, we're going to do that thing. See you tomorrow. Mic check. Mic check you.